everybody. Today I'm going to talk about schizoaffective disorder, my son, and what happens when they go missing, when you try to contact law enforcement. So for those of you that don't already know, schizoaffective disorder is basically schizophrenia with bipolar components, and in my son's case, bipolar manic type, not the depressive type, the manic type. The population has about 0.03% schizoaffective people. Also, the population has about 1% schizophrenic, and then there's 1% more bipolar. So if you think about that, it doesn't sound like a lot, but 1% is 1 in every 100 people. And 0.03% is 1 in every 300 people. So I know a lot of you out there are dealing with this situation. I'm addressing a lot of different topics throughout my channel, so just look at what applies to you or something you might be dealing with right now. Now, when my son moved to Atlanta, we went through a series of steps to get him into housing. And the housing he got was directly designated for mentally ill and homeless. Was not in a particularly good area. If anybody knows Atlanta, it was South Side, but was the Stanton and DeLow area. Gunshots ringing out at night, a lot of gangbanging. You kind of want to stay in at night, not particularly safe. Well, when my son goes missing, I call 911 for help. They don't show up. Try it again. Call 911 again. And I think it may be because of the area he was living in, didn't show up. So I contact the Grady ACT team, which is part of Grady Hospital, and they help people with persistent and severe mental illness. And the manager comes out to help me. I said, look, I'm calling the police department and literally nothing is happening. They are not showing up. I said, I've even put in calls to the missing persons unit, and I was supposed to be assigned a detective, but it had been 4 or 5 days. The guy had not got back to me. So the head guy for Grady ACT team, which is a part of Grady Hospital, says, all right, let's find the closest police station. We're going to go there. So we go over to the police station, get in there, start talking to them. They say, oh, well, we really don't have the resources to cope with this, but what we can do is just send you back to the apartment and we will send somebody over. And they knew who the director was. They knew who Tim was. They knew that he was a powerful person. So we go back to my son's apartment. Nobody shows up. Tim is a bit busy man. He has a lot of people to deal with under the ACT team. So we wait and we wait and we wait. Nothing happens. We call 911 again and explain to them what is going on. Nothing happens. Tim eventually has to leave. I'm worried sick. My son has been missing now for at least 4 or 5 days. I've enlisted the ACT team's help. I've called all the morgues, asked to see if they have any John Does. HIPAA laws do not allow the hospitals to give you any information anymore, by the way. So that is quite difficult. However, the Grady ACT team can actually look at Grady Hospital, and they may be able to get into other hospitals and see if your loved one is there. So they were very, very helpful, but he wasn't there, so he's still missing. Eventually, after calling 911, For the 10th time, I get an officer out to Corey's address. I explain the situation. It's a female officer. She doesn't really seem to care. I said, well, will you at least come to some of these abandoned buildings around here with me and help me look for him? She said, sure. So I walked up there. She drove her police car up there, and she parked not even in the parking lot, in the road. So I had to walk all the way into the abandoned buildings, and she just stood there. And I'm basically looking for a dead body. So I'm up there looking through broken windows, trying to climb inside these places that are abandoned. They're not safe. They're dilapidated. They're falling down. The grounds weren't kept up, so I had to go up these stairs that were about to fall off the building and look over the back and see if I could see any signs of him living there. Now, honestly, in some of the apartments, you could see signs of people going in and out. And again, it was probably homeless people. But I didn't find my son. But in that particular area, you really don't get any help. Now, I understand the old song from Flavor Flav. 911's a joke. Doesn't it start with, I called 911 a long time ago? Basically, it's all about the fact that they don't show up. So this is the type of help you get in Atlanta, in Corey's specific neighborhood. They don't care. And on top of it, when we did eventually find him, it was because he was in Carrollton. I have another video on this. He was in the jail. And he called me. He'd been in there 6 days. He tried to walk to California. Found him at a gas station, inadequately clothed, obviously mentally ill, rapping. He refused to leave because he had nowhere to go. He'd walked 60 miles. And they threw him in the jail. I mean, don't police departments kind of know what's going on from one county to the next? Don't they know that he's an inmate somewhere? Well, obviously not. Anyway, this is what you may be going through if you're living in the inner city. Have a great day.